Welcome to the first A Writer's Journey special episode. Last weekend, I was in Mars, Pennsylvania for the 4-day convention of PulpFest. It's a celebration of all things pulp fiction, from Doc Savage to Tarzan to The Shadow to The Rocketeer, Indiana Jones. If you're not familiar with it, that kind of thing, that kind of fast-paced storytelling, which is what I write when it comes to like my Captain Hawkland series, right? So, this episode, we're going to talk about all the cool things we saw there and the people we met, and maybe next year you might want to show up and pay us a visit at PulpFest. So stay tuned for this special episode. As I said in the opening, PulpFest is a celebration of pulp fiction, not the movie by Quentin Tarantino, although that was kind of inspired by pulp storytelling of old, like Doc Savage and Tarzan and things like that. And I write what's called new pulp, where my Captain Hawkland character is considered new pulp. But you have writers like Brian K. Morris, who does The Terrors. It is a retelling of pulp characters from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and he did a re-imaging of The Terrors. He's also done Skyman Battles the Master of Steam, too. But while I was there, I met many of my writer friends, like Wayne Carey and Nathaniel Hummel and Luke Guzdage. And Luke, I know I butcher that last name every time I say it, and I'm sorry. Glenn Held was there, and Wayne Carey, and John C. Bruning, and Jim Beard, just to name a few. Those are the ones I pretty much hang around with while I'm at the con, but there are so many other new pulp writers that are there, along with people who are selling vintage pulp magazines, DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS tapes, old paperback, small paperback books. And while I was there, and here is the PulpFest. This is the Pulpster magazine. This is what PulpFest puts out every year. This is issue 34. They put it out a month or so before the convention, and you get a copy of it when you sign up for the con. While I was there, I picked up a bunch of stuff for myself to read, and I added to my reading pile, which is like really tall now, and I'll probably never catch up. But I added some really cool stuff, and I wanted to share it with you. We have from Green Archer Comics. This is the Green Archer number 0. And I love that cover. They were sitting very close to where my table was. And I seen this and I had to have it, so I went over and picked it up. This is also based on a Green Archer on, it was a movie serial back in the 20s. And that movie serial is lost to time. It's I think there may be some bits and pieces of it floating around, but as a whole, the 1920s silent Green Archer serial is gone. But there is a 1940s version of this character, and you can find it on YouTube if you want to check it out. I also met for the first time Wayne. I'm probably going to butcher your last name too, but Rain Rengel. He did Pulp Heroes. This is a hardback. I really like hardback books, and I really like the inside, how he did the inside with the names of all of these characters that are inside this book on the inside, back and front covers. That's really cool. I picked that one up. This is Pulp Heroes. This is the first book in the set, and then this version here is a paperback book, The Khan Dynasty, and these are pretty thick books, and I can't wait to dive into these. I mentioned Luke and Nathaniel, and these are books from Veritas Press. They're a new press, and they're doing these small little paperback, like pocket books you shove in your pocket and take with you, if you remember that when you were kids. But these are really quick, fun reads, reminiscent of my quick read books that I put out. These are fast-paced action-adventure stories, and Luke's got Fire in the Tall Grass. This is his. And Nathaniel Hummel has Treasure is My Trade. And this one looks really, really fun. I can't wait to delve into that. Like I said, my reading pile is pretty high. But I really mean to get to this as soon as I can. I also met, and I've met Wayne before. We didn't get a chance to talk a lot last year at PulpFest, but we were kind of back to back with tables this year, so we had a lot of I bumped the camera. We had a lot of conversations about storytelling and pulp, and I picked up two of his books. The first in the Johnny Falco series, Death Awaits in Shanghai. And there's Wayne on the back, if you can see him there. And then I picked up the second book in the series, Death Comes to Hong Kong. I love that cover. And these are put out by Bold Venture Press. So if you get a chance to pick these up, they're available on Amazon, or you can probably go to their website and pick them up there. I also I talked to Robert Mendenhall quite often online, and he ended up writing for my Captain Hawkland character in The Lost Adventures of Captain Hawkland Volume 2. And I wrote for him in his codename Intrepid, the CNI Classified Volume 1. I have a story in that. But I picked up the first book in the codename Intrepid series, First Case. And this is a great cover by Jeffrey Hayes, who has done quite a bit of work for me over the years. And he redid all of these codename Intrepid books for Robert Mendenhall, and they looked really good on his table. And this one is just as beautiful as the others. And if you get a chance, they're on Amazon. Here's the whole crew on the back. I got to play around in this sandbox, like I said, with his first anthology book. And these are fun characters, fun stories, set during the Second World War. Kind of a little bit of mystery and some horror and some sci-fi and just a little bit of mixed everything, sort of like my Captain Hawkland series. And finally, I picked up the Midnight Guardian Annihilation Machine, and this is the second book by John Bruning from Flinch Books. That's the company that he and Jim Beard have. I read the first book and absolutely loved it, and I should have picked this up when it came out, but of course I didn't. But I'm going to try to work it to the top of my pile a little bit there and get that read, because book 4 in this series is coming out, so I need to catch up. Really need to catch up. So if you get a chance to come to PulpFest, the dealer's room is not the only thing that's going on. They have programming virtually all day. They have the Flinch guys, the Flinch Books guys. They did a presentation of a couple of their books coming out and did a cover reveal of John Bruning's 4th book in his Midnight Guardian series. But they also have tributes to Doc Savage and Tarzan, and just all day. And then into the evening, they also have programming. So when the dealer's room closes about 4:45, 5 o'clock in that area, programming goes all the way up to midnight. So you don't have to leave as soon as the dealer's room is done. And we love it when you're in the dealer's room, because you come by our tables. But there's much more to it than just going in and buying stuff. There's all kinds of programming. If you don't know a lot about pulp fiction or the history of pulp in general, you're going to learn it at this convention. And I have to say that I learn a lot from my fellow writers and people who are dealers there. There are comic book dealers, there are book dealers, like I said. So if you get a chance to check out PulpFest, the 2026 show is going to be July 30th through August the 2nd of 2026. I will be in attendance. That's my plan. So you can come by and see what I've got new on my table. And if you've never been to my table, you can come by. I'm going to have at least 2 Captain Hawkland inspired books out. I'll have a anthology of short stories I've been writing and publishing on my Patreon page. And I'll have another book that I haven't quite announced. If you've picked up The Lost Adventures of Captain Hawkland Volume 3, there is a preview for an upcoming Captain Hawkland book in that book. But I want everybody to be surprised when I announce it on social media, or here on this show. So I'm not going to announce it right now, but if you pick up that book, you'll see a little sneak peek of what's coming from me in 2026. Guys, thanks for checking out this special video. We won't end this one with a moment of inspiration, but I do want to say thank you to everybody that came by my table. And here's a quick clip of everybody that came by and picked up books. and I am overwhelmed by people, especially those who return to my table and want to pick up Captain Hawkland or my quick read books or anything else pulp related. And I even had some Serena Darkwood on the table. Serena Darkwood was going off the table, and so was Evolution Man. Book 3, I am almost out of stock, so I've got some on order for the rest of my shows for the rest of the year. So, guys, thanks for watching the video. And the next episode, which will be this coming Sunday, will be part 1 of an interview that I did with Brian K. Morris at PulpFest. So I hope you'll stick around and check that out on Sunday. Thanks, guys.